Ubisoft invited me to play Star Wars Outlaws early. I got to enjoy a few hours of early access gameplay, I got to explore a couple of the planets, and I had a lot of fun and cool experiences that I was not expecting during my play session. So today I'm going to give you guys a look at some of my own exclusive gameplay, give you guys some of my impressions, opinions, and other thoughts that I had for Outlaws with just around a month until the game is released. But first I want to start the video by saying thank you to all those over at Ubisoft and their creator program for allowing me to play Star Wars Outlaws early, and allowing me to share this content with you guys today. Now let's get into discussing Outlaws. First thing we're going to talk about is the gameplay. I was given 4 full hours during my session, in which the first 3 were dedicated to exploring the planet Tashara. My first initial impressions were that the planet was absolutely stunning. For those that don't know, Tashara is actually an original planet created by Ubisoft for Star Wars Outlaws, which features dense living cities, plenty of interesting characters, places, and wildlife throughout the entire planet. As I arrived at Mirana City, my excitement continued to grow as I got to finally get a glimpse at the world of Outlaws. All I can say is that those over at Ubisoft definitely did their research and took their time creating and crafting this authentic Star Wars environment. All of the different species of characters were insanely noticeable, and it had that early George Lucas original trilogy look and feel. One of my favorite moments early on was this interaction at the city's security check-in with the Empire.
Let me see some identification.
Yeah, sure.
You're Torin Valerio Nupp?
That's me.
All right, move along.
There was so much to look at and even do inside of Mirana. Some of these things including playing games as Sabak, which I had to show off a little bit and win a game, Canto Feather Racing, that I had to go ahead and bet on the man from Naboo and win as well. You can also go and see around the cantina, see different Imperial soldiers and officers patrolling the areas of Mirana, and see what different areas in which the Pike and Crimson Dawn syndicates were located. There was also a huge market district where you could sell and purchase clothing items and materials for upgrades as well. The other planet I was able to explore was Kajimi. This was one of my most anticipated planets to get to explore in Outlaws as well. Kajimi was first introduced in The Rise of Skywalker, where they go and find Babu Frick. Kajimi also had that authentic Star Wars feel with different alleys and turns throughout this planet and city. Kajimi was also a little bit smaller of a planet to explore compared to Tashara, and it also featured its own market district with Crimson Dawn and the new Ashiga clan syndicate. The Ashiga clan has a queen inside of this high security castle on Kajimi that has so many guards and turrets. Now let's go ahead and get into the combat gameplay. There were so many different opportunities for combat in Outlaws, some of these including basic melee and blaster combat, stealth combat and actions, speeder bike combat with different speeder chases, and lastly space combat. K's blaster has a few different firing modes that you will be able to unlock different mods from the market vendors and learn a lot of different skills from experts that will teach you all the different abilities and skills in Star Wars Outlaws. I had a lot of fun learning a lot of different combat opportunities. My personal favorite was picking up different blasters from defeated enemies and using it against them myself. You will find yourself trying to fight multiple enemies at times, and you were definitely made sure of how difficult some of the enemy types were if you didn't have a certain ability and upgrades for your weapons. I would actually find myself being defeated quite a few times during my session, where I would try to take on all the enemies in a straight out run and gun fight, and it just would not work out. But when I started to try to take my time and be a bit more mindful of certain enemies, it started to become a lot easier. Speeder combat was pretty interesting, with you having to evade some syndicate members and using your abilities to fight them and get them off your tail. I did find myself at times on the speeder where I would run into animals or rocks and find myself flying like 10 feet off my speeder in the air and getting punished for it. Now moving on to the space combat. I will say this was probably my least favorite part of the session for me. I just thought it was a bit lacking at times. It was a little difficult for me to distinguish the different enemy types I was facing. I was helping some of the Crimson Dawn fighters, and at times I found myself firing at them and still having to finish them off in combat after defeating the other enemy syndicate. I will say though that the flying did also look pretty incredible, and it was very cool to see the jump from different planets through hyperspace. There was also a question that I had when I went into the session wanting to have answered. One of them being about the customization and loadouts. Even though I cannot share some of the customization clips, you will be able to change Kay and Nix's outfits. Your speeder and your ships are customizable as well. You can also earn exclusive outfits, gear, and rewards from different syndicates as well, which I really liked because they all looked amazing. My personal favorite was all the rewards with the Ashiga clan. You will just have to wait and see for yourself. Now wrapping up this first Star Wars Outlaws video, I will say if you are looking forward to this game to have a fun, authentic Star Wars experience, I think this game is perfect for you. But I will say though, if you are on the fence about pre-ordering Outlaws, I would just make that choice for yourself and have an open-minded opinion whether you think that this is a game you would purchase and play. Overall though, I had a pretty fun play session, and I would consider Star Wars Outlaws like a solid 7 out of 10 based on what I was able to do and play. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to check out some of my other content for Outlaws on all my other social media at Tanzo. By the time this video is posted, the game will be coming out in just a month, so be sure you're checking out all my other content. So again, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.